Alright, welcome back to Dinopedia. Today's entry is on the Brontosaurus. Remember to like if like and subscribe down below if you really like it, and let's get into this entry. So of course, the schedule as always, we're going to be talking about the Ark Survival Brontosaurus, we're going to be talking about tips and tricks, potential add-ons to the Ark Survival Ascended game, and reworking for my new game, Dino World. Let's get into it. So first we have the Brontosaurus from Ark Survival Ascended. Of course, it's an animal, so it goes in Kingdom Animalia. It's obviously a reptile because dinosaurs are ancestors of lizards, so it's group reptilian. And description, of course, is a sauropod, the long-necked dinosaurs. So of course, the traits in the game, it's non-combative, it's more of a defensive instead of offensive mount. Its tail is one of the longest of most sauropods. Its tail whip does more damage than its stomp, so of course it's more about batting away creatures in a defensive mode than being offensive with its stomp. As we'll get into, Ark does back that up with making it more of a defensive mount instead of offensive. So of course, its stat block for Ark Survival Ascended, health 2070, stamina 400, oxygen 150, food and water 10,000 each, weight 1600, melee 60, walking speed 1.5 meters per second, swimming speed double that, and torpor 2000. So some tips and tricks for the Brontosaurus. Obviously, base transport. Let's say you want to move from your base from the beach to the mountains. Well, load up your structures into a Brontosaurus because it can carry structures at a rate of 200%, so it can carry double the amount of structures of most other dinosaurs, and can also carry a large amount of materials and food as well. So good for base transport, moving your base from one place to another. And of course, area denial. So its high HP combined with its primary tail whip attack provide a very good base defensive mount, as it does do area AoE attacks with its tail whip, and able to knock back any creature with a lower or higher fortitude. When talking about tricks, using this area denial and defensive mount tactic, you can actually create a organic wall. So using a Brontosaurus as a wall is a great defensive play, as weighing it down with a bunch of materials behind your primary defenses and giving it a platform saddle to cover its body with metal walls makes a great Bronto wall, able to move and cover your more precious base defenses. You basically made a wall out of a dinosaur, which some environmentalists would say that's a little cruel to say, but I would say it's pretty good when you're talking about a Brontosaurus, because once the Titanosaurus was added, this thing kind of became very useless, so it's kind of great to see that it actually has some good purpose. Also, land clearing. Since it's a longer sauropod, it can clear land out more quickly, knocking down trees, thatch, and wooden structures in its path more quickly than a Titanosaurus, if you're wondering. So some additional qualities I'd like to see added to Ark Survival Ascended in the future to make this a little bit more of a unique dinosaur. Adding a secondary charge ability, allowing it to clear an entire pathway of trees and environmental obstacles. I think this would make it more effective at land clearing, making it like going on a mini rampage, destroying everything so you can flatten out an area to make a base in like a forest, for example, or like in a mountain biome, destroying a bunch of stone. I think that'd be very useful. Make it like so it's the base clearing, so it's just not overshadowed completely by the Titanosaurus. I'd also like to see a healing ability, some sort of AoE healing ability that can be used during combat or base defense. We really don't have anything that, like, if your turrets need to be healed and you're not near them, or like structures need to be repaired and you're not near them. I think it'd be really cool if the Brontosaurus, like if it was placed near structures that were damaged, it would just heal them over time. I think that'd be really useful, healing turrets and structures over time. Make it more of a thing like you make it stay at home, and it's like a defensive thing. It heals up your base after a long day of combat. I think that'd be some sort of use for the Brontosaurus overall. So when comparing the Ark Survival Brontosaurus to the Jurassic World Evolution 2 Brontosaurus, I think we have an obvious winner here, because at least the Ark Brontosaurus actually looks pretty cool for the most part, instead of what is this derpy head shape. I mean, this is derpy. Like, it literally looks like this head shape looks like the Charlie Brown parents with the womp 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 womp. Like, it's just really derpy, and it's like it's really boring. It's just derpy and really, I don't want to say it's autistic, but it really does look like a freaking Down syndrome dinosaur. I'm sorry, it just looks too derpy. But when compared to the Dino World player model that we'll probably be using, not player model, creature model, I think I like ours a little bit better. No personal bias, but I do like the fact that we put spines on it. and the artwork has like a better neck pattern, and it has like many stripes on the body. I don't know, I think the color pattern and the little features that we added makes it look a little bit better than the Arc one, but the Arc one is still very solid compared to the autistic Down syndrome one that's in Jurassic World. So the Bronto in Dino World, there's 3 different types. There's the normal Bronto, the wild and tame dino variant. There is the mutated Bronto, which is the product of 2 tamed Brontos and a gene computer. And the dead Bronto, the dead carcass that can be harvested for resources. I do want to clarify something. So when I talk about dead carcasses, I don't mean like you kill a Bronto and you harvest it, because every dino does that. That's how you harvest it for resources, if you kill it. If you've ever been to Ragnarok and you go to the Scotland area where you can find Gigas, there are like dead Ballisaur carcasses that are already auto-generated in, and you can harvest those for resources. That's what I mean when I say this, it's the dead variant. Like, it's auto-generated in. Like, you don't kill it immediately, it just auto-generates in as dead, and you can harvest it for resources without even having to kill it. That's what I mean by dead, the dead variant. So of course the traits, obviously it's still Animalia Kingdom, group Reptilian as always. Its class is sauropod, but it does have a family. The family is the subsection of the class, basically a subclass of long sauropods, which means its neck, instead of going vertically upwards like a Brachiosaurus's neck, the Brontosaurus's neck expands horizontally. So instead of going up, it goes out. And I think that makes it more unique than the Brachiosaurus. So the family of long sauropods, you've got the Apatosaurus, Mamenchisaurus, and of course the Bronto. So when comparing the stat block from the Bronto of Dino World to the Bronto of Ark Survival Ascended, we can see that the health has increased slightly to 2100. The stamina has been cut in half from 400 to 200. Food and water stays the same. Melee stays the same. Swimming weight is bigger, 2000 from 1600. Speed is increased slightly, walking speed from 1.5 to 2 meters per second. Swimming speed has been decreased by to 33%, because I think it's very weird that a dinosaur of this size, especially a sauropod, swims double the speed that it walks. I think that's kind of stupid. So the swimming speed is halved from its walking speed. Its torpor stays the same, and its fortitude is 4. Alright, so additional traits for the Bronto in Dino World. I wanted to make it more unique than most of the other, because as we've talked about with the Apato and the Brachio, they have different, the Pato is motherly, the Brachio is more titanic and more offensive. I think the Bronto should have its own unique quality, so when you get a Titano, you don't just say to your clan like, we can just kill our Brontos for meat at this point because we don't need them. I think there should be a incentive to keep these things around, and that's from the case of XP boosts. I think it should boost the passive XP generation of any creature in its radius. Because if you leave a creature and players, if you keep your server operational, they generate passive XP. If they're near a Bronto, they should be able to boost this. Of course, the Bronto doesn't boost its own, but if you have 2 Brontos next to each other, one of them will boost the other, so of course it'll still work. Again, the boost won't stack if you have multiple Brontos. Maybe it does. I think that'd be a little overpowered, because then you can just like get a bunch of Brontos and then just completely just max out your XP generation, which I think would be kind of cheating, but I think that you should have 2 Brontos that can boost the XP of the other, because obviously they can't boost their own XP. Kills in its radius will give double experience, so adding on to that XP boost, if you bring it along on hunting parties, if a dinosaur you have makes a kill, it doubles the experience of that kill. And leveling up has a very small, teensy-wincy chance of giving you 2 level ups instead of just 1 when you level up. So you can gain 2 levels instead of just 1 from leveling up. But again, very teensy-wincy, very small percentage chance that that'll ever happen. And that leads into the ability Level Up. So if you activate this ability, it boosts the levels of all allied creatures in its radius for a limited time. So let's say we'll have a level 400 Rex, now it's a level 450 Rex. You have a level 50 Giga, now it's a level 75 Giga. Now it's not going to be something massive like a level 50 Carnotaurus is now a 300 level Carnotaurus. Not doing that, but maybe it'll be some percentage. Maybe each creature it'll be different how much it boosts the levels up. Or maybe as you level up the Bronto, the level up ability increases. So level 1 Bronto only levels it up by like 5 levels, but like a level 400 Bronto does it like by times 2. Now we'll see. We'll see how balancing works out for that ability. But now we'll go on to the last part of the video, which is looking at Dino World spawns on the main world Europa. Remember, blue is guaranteed, green is very likely, yellow is feudal likely, orange is rare, red is very rare, and purple is dead. And of course, I think that the Dino World Bronto should be the same as the Carnotaurus in Ark, where it's in a lot of biomes. So feudal likely, you can find it in the jungles. You can find a few in the jungles, few in the northern jungles, southern, eastern jungles, and the southern jungle island, as well as feudal likely you can find in the plains, the Great Plains area of the map right here. A little bit more rare, you can rarely find them in the redwood forest right here. That connects the jungles to the taiga, and you can still find them in the taigas or in the southern desert area right here, but it is very rare. So it's the rarest place you can find them. And then dead. So you can find dead Bronto carcasses in the Badlands, auto-generated there. It's basically like a story thing, like they were in the desert, they tried to move into the Badlands, and then realized we can't survive here, and then they died off near the beach, on the beaches. So they tried to survive, didn't, and that's why there's dead carcasses of Brontos in the Badlands. So yeah, you can find them feudal likely in the jungles and plains, rarely in the redwood forest, very rarely in the taiga and desert, and dead carcasses of them in the Badlands. And that's going to do it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like if you like, like if you don't, subscribe if you like it. Comment down below your thoughts. As always, have a blessed day, and of course, toodaloo!